The mission of a local nonprofit is to provide leadership, direction, and integrated resource management for the quality services that support the vision of their success for children. They have a fundraiser coming up that you're not going to want to miss, and all the details are just around the corner right here on Polk Place. Hello and welcome to Polk Place, and I'm your host Brian Lacey, and joining me in studio is Jason Hallman. He's the owner of Cycle Stop USA, Central Florida Wheels of Steel Operations Committee co-chair. How you doing?
Very well. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, first time on TV?
Not first time on TV, just first time on Polk County government
Okay,
TV.
cool. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Also joining us is Pion Corbin. She's the Senior Vice President for Geico, the presenting sponsor of Central Florida Wheels of Steel. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
And of course, we can't forget Lieutenant Tony Allaire. He's a Polk County Sheriff's Office, and he is also the committee chair for Central Florida's Wheels of Steel. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
And I understand a mutual friend said that I would be gentle with you.
She did say that.
Yeah, she lied, didn't she?
We'll see.
No. Well, guys, welcome to the show. Talking about something near and dear to my heart. Two things: Early Learning Coalition and motorcycles. And there's an event coming up, Wheels of Steel putting on. Tony, talk to me a little bit about what the event is.
The event is something to benefit a great charity here in Polk County. They have a very important mission. When I was asked to get involved, I learned a lot about the organization and what they stand for, and the passion that they have for providing for children in our community here in Polk County. And I got, caught up in their passion. So we're looking at having an event that's going to be a trademark event for Polk County here in Central Florida, and it's going to be an indoor custom motorcycle show. And that we're hoping to attract people from all over Florida and all over the Southeast, something we think is unique here in this part of the country as well to Central Florida, and something that we can build on to help raise funds for a great organization.
Tony, recently the RP Funding Center put a lot of money into both the inside and the outside of the facility, and it's really going to be a destination for folks. Talk to me a little bit about what the folks can expect.
We're going to have a custom motorcycle competition. We're going to have people that can come in and enter their bikes into a competition and be judged. We're also going to have a lot of vendors and some premier builders that we're bringing in from different parts of the country that people may have seen on TV and different magazines all over the place. We're also looking at making sure that we can attract the people have what they want that are into bikes and this and that, but also to have a family friendly, and keep in mind that our mission is to raise funds for the children and give everybody what they want in a nice family friendly, safe atmosphere.
Jason, we know how Tony got involved, and of course you out of Plant City. Talk to me a little bit how you got involved and what Early Learning Coalition means to you.
Well, the Early Learning Coalition of Polk County, of course, is pretty close to me, being that my wife actually is employed there, but it serves over 12,000 children in the community. Make sure that they're prepared to go into school, that they've got the necessary ways and means to navigate through the muddy waters that it can be, trying to figure out that process of getting ready for school. So I know there's over 300 sites, and I get to hear about it every day when I come home from work, because my wife downloads her day into my ear canal. But as a former educator, I used to teach it in Polk County and in Pasco County. I've seen the difference that an impact can make, and early intervention is absolutely the best intervention. So that's how I got involved with the show, just by virtue of being in the right place at the right time, being that my wife is employed there. But the selfish side of me, if there is one about this, is the fact that there is no indoor event for custom motorcycles that I know of in Florida, certainly not in the heat of June. So I'm looking at kind of how can we put together the type of event that can be repeated, and so that no matter who sits on the board in the future, the pieces and parts are there so that the show can go on essentially, and try to entertain people. I love custom motorcycles. I mean, I grew up in a family that's what we did. So it's passion on both sides. Being a father of two children, being a former educator, being married to somebody who's been in education for 20 plus years, this is something that's pretty important to me. And you know, we're Polk County transplants. We moved here 9 years ago. We absolutely love where we live, the community that we're in. We did a lot of digging and looking around to see where the best schools and stuff were. And you know, moving to Polk County was like a concerted effort between my wife and I to make sure we got somewhere that the people were there, and the parts and all of the things to produce good young people, because we're not raising kids, we're raising adults. So that's kind of why I wanted to be involved.
Now, Pian, you have a little bit different reason how you got involved. Of course, Geico is one of the largest providers of insurance of motorcycles in the United States, and of course you have a little bit of a hometown flavor having an office here. Talk to me a little bit about how Geico got involved.
Well, when you say motorcycles, the next thing you think about, hopefully, is safety and insurance. And so, as you mentioned, we insure lots of motorcycles. We're the second largest motorcycle insurer in the nation. And of course, we're #1 insurance company in the state of Florida. So when the ELC came to us and looked for a partnership to sponsor this event, we were really glad and pleased to do it. And we thought there's no one else who would be a better partner than Geico. So Geico's office has been here in Lakeland for over 20 years now. We employ over 3,000 associates. Many of them ride bikes. There's plenty of bikes in our parking lot every single day. But more importantly, many of our associates take advantage of the services of the Early Learning Coalition. And we believe that through our philanthropic efforts at Geico, we should always give back to the community and to the organizations that are giving back and supporting continued growth and development for children and any good charitable initiative. So this was a perfect partnership for us. We're looking forward to joining, and we plan on being there with a Geico custom-made bike and our Gecko for all the kids.
I'm looking forward to the Gecko.
Most people do.
Now, I want to ask you, Jason, from a builder standpoint, what are we looking at class-wise for the different classes?
So we haven't ironed out all of the small particulars that would put a motorcycle in one class or the other, but I can tell you that we have 10 classes. We're looking at one of those also giving out a legacy award. I lost my father, who was my business partner, last September, and he was a custom motorcycle guy. I grew up going to custom motorcycle shows, so we wanted to do some sort of a legacy award for him because we plan on this being a signature event that stays in Polk County year after year. So you're going to have 10 classes, and it's going to range from type of motorcycle, year of motorcycle, those types of metrics that we measure things by. So, you either a custom chopper, a custom bagger, an antique. There's all these little pockets of things that your motorcycle could be classified in. So when we come to actually doing the finite details of the judge, of the way that the bikes will be judged, at the end of the day, there'll be 10 classes plus that, kind of that best in show legacy award.
One thing that I noticed at Daytona this year is there was kind of a movement away from, the big time builders that have the unlimited resource, and something I got really excited to see was the guys that are building them out of their own garage. Is there going to be a class similar to that?
Well, that's what we're looking for, to be quite honest with you. I can tell you that after this many years in the business, I have also seen a departure away from the unlimited resources and things that you mentioned in that. And I absolutely applaud anyone who takes it on themselves, whether they're going to do the entire scope of their build in their garage, or whether they're going to do one or two pieces of it and enlist the help of myself or somebody that does what I do. But absolutely, there's one of the most decorated builders right now is a guy named Brian Butera, who is a Lakeland native, and he's been around the world with his first build he's ever built.
Was that the guy featured on Bay News 9?
He was, yes. Absolutely. And so he went to Abu Dhabi in one. He went to, I believe it was Switzerland or Denmark in one. I got to meet him last year. He's super soft-spoken guy, but he was a formidable man in the right situation, because he's talented. He doesn't say a whole lot, and he lets his work speak for himself. And he built it in his garage here in Lakeland. So that's a prime example of somebody that he doesn't do everything himself, obviously, but he does the grand scope of the build was completed by him in his home-based garage, and it's one of the most decorated bikes in the world right now. So it's an excellent example, and you are right. You have seen a departure away from unlimited resources. You see more craftsmanship, more motorcycles as art. People are being more mindful of their time and mindful of their money and being more creative and innovative, and that in and of itself is exciting to me as a motorcycle builder because they're not just throwing money at something.
And the cool thing about it, one of the other people that the website says is going to be there, Channel 13 did a story on Corey Souza.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really cool how the local media has gotten behind this art, of course.
Well, certainly in that, and you have a guy like Corey Souza who's world-renowned. He's been in the business since like 2001 or 2002. He came up under the tutelage of Dave Perowitz, who's one of the most
Best painters
well
ever.
known throughout the world for the last 40 plus years. He's one of the hamsters, and they give tons to the charity in their own right. And Corey deserves every bit of recognition that he gets. He rides his motorcycle. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, Tony, I want to talk specifics about the event. Let's talk date, times, and cost, if we could, please.
Sure. The event's going to be June 22nd at the RP Funding Center. Hours are 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. We currently, children under 12 are free. Ticket price is $20, which includes parking, which is going to be a great setup there at the RP Funding Center. As far as the event itself, we're also looking at doing, in addition to the competition bikes that Jason spoke of, we're going to also have a featured area for law enforcement bikes. I've already started extending invitations to area agencies, and hopefully we'll have a nice display of our law enforcement motor guys who do a hard job out there, and I try to keep everybody safe, and they can show off their bikes as well.
One of the most unique things about law enforcement motorcycles within Polk County is you have the Harley Davidsons, you have the BMWs. There's such an eclectic group of bikes that each one of the agencies have gone to and given the people the opportunity to see that. That's going to be a really cool thing for those that are visiting.
Yeah, and it's impressive. And I've recently, the past year or two, gotten more into the motorcycles with my duties at work, and obviously with this event, and watching those guys train and what they do. And you talk to somebody who's a rider, and you see what they put into the training and the skill set that they have. I learned about riding slow is the big skill, and these guys do some amazing maneuvers to do what they do and try to do it as safe as they can.
Tony, you mentioned safety in what you said, and one of the unique partnerships about this show is between Lakeland Regional Health and the Polk County Sheriff's Office. Talk to me a little bit about that. Come
from a community that is anxious to get involved with such a great cause. Lakeland Regional Health actually reached out from their trauma unit, because they obviously have a vested interest in safety. They unfortunately deal with the after effects when people aren't safe. So they offered to partner with us to come and put a presentation on, along with our crime prevention people, for kids, make sure they ride the right way. Kids riding bicycles and things such as that. They've actually secured some donations of bicycle helmets, and our crime prevention folks are going to be there with them, fitting any kids that may be there with their families to make sure they have a bike helmet and that it fits properly. Well, Pion, we have just a little bit of time left, and as the presenting sponsor, I'd like you to inspire those that, we're going to get our motorcycle crowd out there, but I'd like you to inspire others to make it to the event and find out about motorcycles and, of course, the cause at hand, the Early Learning Coalition.
Absolutely. I would say, this is going to be a premier event, and hopefully an annual event that people can rally around every single year. So I encourage people to come out, bring your kids, bring your family and friends. You get to learn something new about a huge network of bikers in the community, but more importantly, supporting a major linchpin in our community, which is supporting the development of children in early learning. So it's a win-win situation, and it should be a lot of fun. And as I said, Geico and a lot of other organizations will be there to make it an event for the families, not just for the biker enthusiasts. Well, Tony, Pion, Jason, I want to thank you for coming on. I'm proud to say I'm part of the first one, and I'm looking forward to many more of these shows and you guys being on. Thanks for coming in today. Thank you very much.
The Early Learning Coalition invites you to Central Florida's Wheels of Steel, Saturday, June 22nd in Sykes Hall at the RP Funding Center from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. When the doors open, you will enter into an exciting display of artistry and innovation with motorcycle competitors from all over who will be competing for the best in their class. You'll also get a chance to see some of the hottest custom designs from award-winning builders who have graced the covers of motorcycle magazines. Tickets are $20 for general admission and $25 for bike judging. Now, there's free parking, and kids under 12 get in free. There are sponsorship and vending opportunities available. Now, if you need more information, you can give them a call at 863-733-9064 or look them up on the web at www.cfwheelsofsteel.com.